Christmas. We're getting ready around here for some fun holiday baking that is coming up. I've got 4 amazing recipes to share with you guys today. Super easy recipes. When you're giving things to people, it doesn't matter how much time you spent making something. That doesn't matter if it's a no-bake thing, if it's a thing that took you, hours to make. They don't care about that. What they care about is that you took the time to think about them and to make something for them. So this is something, as you guys have heard me say many times before, this is something that my grandmother started with me when I was very, very little. She instilled that in me, that making and giving back to others during the holidays is something that is just super important. And so it's something that she has always taught me. It's something that I've always done. I love this time of year. I love getting to make all kinds of things, get to bake and cook and do all the things and just really share my love of food with people. That's how I share my love with other people, is to make things for them, to cook for them. And so I've got 4 super fun no-bake recipes for you guys today. You're gonna love all of these. They are little effort, which makes them super nice, because a lot of times during the holidays, we don't have a lot of time to spend on things. And so 3 of these recipes, I'm gonna do them in a smaller amount just because we don't need that many sweets in our house right now. But I'm gonna do the first one. This one I'm gonna do the full recipe because my husband absolutely loves these nuts. So we're gonna do a spicy honey roasted mixed nut. These are perfect for giving as a gift. They're perfect for putting on your holiday table, all those things. So I'm gonna get started with my nuts really quick because these need to go in the oven. This is the only one that is it's still kind of a no bake because you don't really have to do anything. It's just an assembling it. So we're gonna do that super quick. How I'm gonna give these some spice is I'm using my absolute favorite seasoning, which is my Sweet Preacher. I put this on everything, but I was talking to my husband, and I really make these nuts, and I usually put like cayenne pepper and chili powder, things like that on these to give them that little bit of sweet heat. But this is my absolute favorite seasoning, and I thought, what if we took those honey roasted nuts and we put the Sweet Preacher rub on those nuts and roasted them with those? So that's what we're gonna do. So I need 3 tablespoons of honey to make our honey roasted nuts. So I'm gonna put that in my bowl real quick. And then I've also got 2 tablespoons of melted butter. We're gonna put that in here along with our honey. As I said, this is a really easy recipe. My nuts are they are salted. So I'm not gonna add any salt to these because I don't want these to be overly salty. My husband's not big into that. So I'm using a bunch of stuff. As you guys know, I love doing clearance shopping at Fred Meyer or Kroger. These nuts I got on clearance, $5.40 for, what is this? 2 pounds. And so it was an incredible deal. So while I was able to get a lot of nuts over, different times when they were on clearance, I grabbed them. So we're gonna do 3 cups of our mixed nuts. Put just a little bit extra in here for good measure. And then we're gonna put in our Sweet Preacher, and I'm just gonna eyeball this. The recipe only called for salt, and that's where we're gonna do something different. We're gonna add our Sweet Preacher rub to these. I think this is gonna give them just an incredible flavor. I can't wait to taste these after they come out of the oven. Like I said, these are super easy, quick, fast recipe that you can make these for your holiday table if you're having parties, having people over, all the things. Make these nuts, put them in a bowl, and put them on your table, and everyone's gonna love them. Because you roast them with all of this stuff, they taste so fresh. I'm gonna put just a little bit extra of that Sweet Preacher in there. All right, let's get these mixed up. We're gonna put these on a sheet pan with parchment paper, put them in the oven at 325 for just a few minutes. We don't really need them in there very long. Give them one more quick stir. So we have our mixed nuts. You can see they look so good. We're gonna just dump these right on our baking sheet with our parchment paper. Don't want to miss any of that honey that's in here or that seasoning. Like I said, these are not going to bake very long. They just need to bake for probably about maybe 10 minutes. I'm gonna watch them. I don't want them to get too overdone, too toasty, but these are going to be absolutely delicious on your holiday table. Put these out if you're having people over for whatever. These are great. They're super easy. You see how fast that was. So these are gonna go in 325 for about 10 minutes. We're gonna kind of listen or smell for them. And if we need to, we're gonna pull them out real quick, but we're just gonna watch them. So now I'm gonna make one of my husband's favorite recipes. He absolutely loves this bark. And this is one of the only other recipes that I'm gonna do full size because it's not overly sweet. That's why my husband loves it. And it is one of his favorites. And so we're gonna do the whole recipe just because it is something that he really likes. So I'm gonna use an entire bag of these. These are my absolute favorite dark chocolate melting wafers. They have other ones in the stores. I've tried them, but I absolutely love these. These are my favorite. So we're gonna melt these in our microwave, 30-second intervals until we have them nice and melted. And move some of this stuff out of my way. So just until they're nice and melted, and then we're gonna be able to put these in our, spread this out on our sheet pan and have them ready to go. So 30-second intervals. And while we're waiting for that, we can prep the other things that are going to go on this bark. So my grandmother always called this her Christmas jewel bark because we use apricots that we chop up. We use dried cranberries and pistachios. So you get the green from the pistachios, the red from the cranberries, and that little bit of bright orange jewel on top with our apricots. And then when I'm done with this, I take some white melting bark and I melt that, and then I drizzle that over the top just to give it that finished look. And then I finish it with a little bit of fleur de sel sea salt. You want that little bit of salt with the sweetness from all of the dried fruit. Grab my chocolate real quick. I'm gonna check it. I know it's not done yet because it's gonna take it a little bit longer than that one 30-second interval. So let's do it one more time. Another 30 seconds in the microwave. And while we're waiting for that, we can get going on. I want to give my my pistachios a quick little chop. I do want to dice up my apricots because I don't want them big. I want these to be little pieces of, orange on top of my bark. Grab my knife so I can give these a really quick. And we're not going for a ton of this on here. We just want little pieces of this orange from the apricot on top of it. If you're not an apricot fan, by all means leave the apricots off and just do the cranberries. If you're not a cranberry fan, by all means use dried cherries if you want to. You could use dried strawberries. Whatever your favorite dried fruit is what I would put on this. Super, super easy. And like I said, it just is such a stunning little thing to put on your holiday platters if you're going to put treats out for people, if you have guests coming or whatever. We have people over during the holidays, and I love putting out like these nuts that we're making right now. I love putting out a little tray of the spicy mixed nuts, some of this bark, just a lot of little things for people to come in and grab a hot chocolate, grab an apple cider, something like that, and then have a little piece of something. And you're not putting a whole lot of stuff out if you're not having a full meal. So one more apricot. I'm not going to chop my cranberries because I think my cranberries are perfect just the way they are. I don't need them to be any smaller. Grab my chocolate real quick. All right, so our chocolate is exactly where I want it to be. I'm just going to stir it. I'm going to let the residual heat finish melting this chocolate. And then we're going to put it on our piece of parchment. And I think, figure out a different piece of parchment. I grabbed the wrong one. There we go. So little trick, if you are trying to get a piece of parchment on a street pan, crumple it, and then smooth it out. Makes it easier to have it lay flat on your pan. So I'm going to finish getting this mixed up real well. I'm going to check my nuts real fast. Not quite. They're still cooking. They smell amazing. So as I said, if you're not a fan of the nuts and the fruit that I'm putting on this bar, by all means do your own. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. I just do it because these are the 3 that my grandmother always did. These are the ones that my husband loves on them. So as you guys come in, please say hi. Let me know you guys are here. If you're new to my channel, I would love to know that. Hit that subscribe button up there. Give this video a big thumbs up, guys. Okay, almost got it. We're gonna use an offset spatula to smooth our chocolate out in our pan, just so it makes it a little bit easier. And I wanna get all of this chocolate out. So let's move our apricots out of the way just for a second till we get our chocolate on our pan. All right, let's get it poured out. My husband loves dark chocolate. This is one of his favorite little sweet treats that I make during the holidays, this and the nuts, because they're not super sweet. He's not a huge sweets fan, so he loves stuff like this. It has a little bit of that salty, a little bit of the sweet. Use my offset spatula to clean off my spatula here for a second. So as you can tell, we've only been going for just a few minutes, and we've already got our nuts in the oven. This bark is almost done. So we want to give it a good spread out. Just make sure we have it all nice and level. You don't want it super, super thin, but you do want it a little bit on the thin side because you don't want a big chunk of chocolate. So you want to just get it nice and spread out. That looks good to me. All right, scrape this off with my finger. I don't like to waste things. All right, so we have our chocolate melted. I'm gonna grab my apricots, and this is where it's gonna start to get beautiful, is we're gonna put all of these beautiful dried fruit on here. I didn't used to like apricots. I actually do love dried apricots, and I love them with this dark chocolate. It is such a great combination. I love the look of the orange against the dark chocolate, the red when we do our cranberries. I am gonna finely chop, or not finely, but I'm gonna roughly chop my pistachios because I want them to be a little bit smaller, and also I want more of the green in the pistachio to show up. And so for that to happen, I need to give them a little bit of a rough chop. This just looks so beautiful. It doesn't take very long for this to set up either. It sets up pretty quickly. So we've got our dried cranberries. I'm just gonna put some of these cranberries on here. When my husband gets home later, he's gonna be super, super excited about this because he does not know that I'm making this one today. Make sure you have enough the fruit on here. Don't skimp on it, because this is such a simple bark with very simple flavors on it that you definitely want to make sure you have enough of the dried fruit on it. Make sure you have a good distribution. All right, last thing we're going to put on is our pistachios. And I'm just gonna give these a really rough chop with my chopper here real quick. Like I said, I'm not looking for pulverized nuts. I just want a rough, really rough chop. All right, now I'm gonna take my pistachios, drop my pistachios all over the top of this bark. All right, there's that. So here is my grandma's jeweled Christmas bark. We're gonna do one more thing to it real quick. We are gonna melt just a little bit of some white melting chocolate, or white almond bark is what I'm using. We're gonna put just I think just one block of this in here will be plenty. Probably going to be more than enough. So I'm going to just put this little piece right here in the microwave real quick, because I want to melt that so I can drizzle it. I want to drizzle it on top of my bark. Let's put this in the microwave. Again, we're doing 30-second intervals to melt it. Grab a spoon, because I'm just going to use a spoon to drizzle the white melting chocolate on here. Look at our nuts. Not quite. I'm going to give them a stir though real quick, because I just want to make sure that they are getting nicely toasted, but they're not getting too toasty. All right, going to go back in the oven for just a few minutes. Let's look at our white melting chocolate that's in the microwave. Definitely needs a little bit more. So let me know if you guys have a favorite like holiday Christmas treat that you guys make every single year, something that your family just insists every year you have to make this, because this is one of them and the nuts are one of them. In our house, those are two things that my husband absolutely insists on having. So it's definitely, our house is very particular about the things. Like I said, my husband's not super big on a lot of sweet things, really super sweet things. That's why he loves the nuts that I'm doing. He loves the bark, because they are things that are not super sweet. All right, let's chop this up a little bit and see if we can get it melted the rest of the way. We're just going to use the residual heat in this bowl to get our white chocolate, or melting chocolate, get that all stirred up. That bowl is very hot. So we just have a little bowl right here. We've got our white melting chocolate. Say hi as you guys come in. Let me know you're here. I know this is kind of a last minute live today, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it or not today. Today was a little bit of a unusual day. I do these lives when my husband is not home, because it's too hard with him coming in and out of the house to do one and not have a lot of noise. So I wasn't sure if he was going to help friends today or not. And then he went to do it, so I have my chance to do this. So, all right, so we're just going to take our melting chocolate. It's nice and melted. We don't want a lot. So we're just going to take our spoon and we're just going to do just a little bit. I'm not going for a lot, but I want that contrast on here of the white against the dark chocolate and against all of that dried fruit Doesn't add a ton of sweetness. It adds just a little bit. And hubby is okay with that. All right. I think that is probably good. So here is our Christmas jeweled bark. Hi, Karen. Hi, Logan. So here's our Christmas jeweled bark. This is my grandmother's recipe. This is something that her and I made every single year. We would make a batch of this, actually several batches of this, to gift to neighbors and friends and family and all the things. So this is super good. I'm gonna set this aside away from this hot stove so it can set up. Our nuts are almost done. And while we're waiting for our nuts to finish up, we're gonna go ahead and move on with our third recipe. If you guys missed what we did first, we're doing a spicy honey roasted mixed nut. We're using honey and our Sweet Preacher rub that we use on all kinds of things, chicken, pork, all the stuff. So this recipe that we're doing next, I'm gonna split this into 2 bowls because the recipe is essentially the same. It is dark chocolate and Heath chips. The only thing that is different is that one of them has pecans and the other does not. So I'm gonna melt all of this in here, and then I'm gonna split it into 2 bowls because one bowl is gonna have the chow mein noodles and we're gonna make haystacks, and the other one is gonna just have pecans in it because we're gonna make a pecan bark or a pecan bar. So I'm gonna put this in the microwave real quick and I'm gonna melt this just like we did before. And like these 2 recipes that I'm doing next are, I'm only doing a half a recipe for these because we don't need a whole bunch of these. My day's going pretty good. It would be better if Indiana was winning the football game, but they're not, so it's okay. Yes, I love this haystack recipe. It is super, super fun. I'm gonna use this piece. I need a little bit of parchment. Because I'm gonna drop these on some parchment paper. And again, trick, wad up your parchment and then put it in your pan. It helps you to kind of be able to get it in there without it wanting to pop up on you. I'll grab my chocolate real quick. I know it's gonna need to go back in for another 30 seconds. I can smell the nuts in there smell incredible. Hubby's gonna come home and be so excited that we've got his favorite nuts in there. All right, put this back in the microwave. Another 30 seconds and it should be ready. So the other thing that I need to do, so I have my chow mein noodles. I need to grab another bowl real quick so I can split that. So I'm gonna split that chocolate between 2 bowls. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and do my toffee chips right now. It's gonna make it easier. So because I'm doing half a recipe on both of these, I need 6 tablespoons in each bowl. So there's 4, there's 6. So this one, I'm gonna go ahead and add my chow mein noodles into. And I'm just gonna eyeball this. That's what I love about these no-bake recipes. I'm an Oregon Ducks fan. But I was rooting for Indiana because I would rather we play Indiana in the championship game versus Ohio State, but it looks like we're going to play Ohio State again. I'm not looking forward to that, but I think it's inevitable at this point. I think that's who we're playing, so it's fine. Whatever. I'm not gonna stress over it. It'll be fine. So for our toffee pecan bars, we're gonna do some pecans. And I'm going to take a bunch of pecans and I'm going to chop these pretty fine. I don't want these. Oh, that's right, Logan, you live in England, right? So I'm just going to use my chopper again. And I'm going to give these a pretty good chop. How's the weather in England today, Logan? I just had this thought, because I have a lot of them. I wonder how some pecans would be in the Haystacks. Maybe we should add a few in there and see how we like it. Because I've got quite a few pecans here. So let's go ahead and let's add some pecans to the Haystacks too. It's snowing. I wish it was snowing here. It's cold here, but it's not cold enough quite yet to snow. I wish it was, but it's not. All right, give my chocolate a little bit of a mix. Get this all mixed up really well. Then I'm going to take half this chocolate and put it in this other bowl that has our toffee bits and our chow mein noodles, and also add, and then we'll do pecans in here now. This one is going to have just pecans and toffee, and we're going to put this one in a little pan and let it, because we're going to cut them into bars or into squares. But the chow mein noodles, if you've ever made those before, or the Haystacks, you know that those just get, you know, dropped by spoonfuls. All right, I've got one piece of chocolate here that is just refusing to come off the spatula. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put part of our chocolate in this bowl with our Haystacks, and we'll get those mixed up. That looks like a good amount to me. Okay, so this one, we're gonna do another 6 tablespoons of toffee in with this chocolate. Just like that. And then we're gonna add all of these pecans in here. We're gonna get this all mixed together. So this is supposed to look just like this. It's supposed to look kind of clumpy, kind of messy, and that's okay. That's exactly what we want, because we're gonna pour that right in this pan. And then when these are fully set up, then we're gonna cut them into squares. Don't want to miss any of that chocolate that's in here. Make sure you get it all out. And I love that we added the pecans, because now I don't have to dirty another spatula when I go to make the Haystacks. I can just use the same one, which is going to be awesome. Like I said, I just am doing a half a recipe for all of, or these 3 right here, because we don't need that many sweets right now. It's not quite the time, but as you guys know, in YouTube land, we have to be early on everything. All right, so there's our pecan bars. I'm gonna set those aside. I'm gonna give our Haystacks a mix. Get this all coated in chocolate. And it may take a minute to do this, because these chow mein noodles, yes, like bite-sized candy bars. Yes. Waste not, want. Yes, that's right. So we're just going to get these all, you want to make sure that you have all of your chow mein noodles completely covered in chocolate. You don't want any of that brown color showing. Make sure you get down here in the bottom and get your toffee bits that are down here in the bottom of your bowl. These look so good. I think I need to pull my nuts out of the oven, because I can smell them right now, and I think they are done. So let's get those out real quick before they burn. Perfect. one more really good stir. These have to completely cool. They are scalding hot right now with the honey on them. But they are nicely toasted. Oh my goodness, friends. So here is our honey roasted spiced mixed nuts. Sure. What kind of candy is British? All right, so we have our haystack stuff mixed up. Let's get these dropped onto our parchment. And I'm gonna have to go wash my hands, but I'm just gonna use my hand to do this because my chocolate is starting to set up. And I wanna be able to get these in some little balls or some little stacks. So these were all super easy. We've only been live for 30 minutes and I've already got all 4 of my recipes completely done. Everything is done now. All this stuff is just gonna sit here and set up. The chocolate needs to set up and firm up for us. But you don't have to use a whole lot of ingredients. Doing things during the holiday time does not have to be hard. You don't have to be a professional baker, anything like that. These are all recipes that I did with my grandmother. They were super fun, super easy. And all of those times in the kitchen with her are memories that just stick with me forever. This time of year, when I get in the kitchen, that's what I think about is my grandmother. She was my inspiration. All right, last one, and then I'm gonna go give my hands a quick wash because I have chocolate all over me. All right, go wash my hands real quick. All right, so we got our haystacks done. We've got our nuts all done. We got our toffee almond bars done. And in case you guys jumped in last minute, this is my grandma's Christmas jewel bark. So this is just a melted dark chocolate spread out on the pan with pistachios, dried apricots, dried cranberries, and a drizzle of white chocolate. These are absolutely incredible. So, so good. And everything here was super, super easy. It didn't take any time at all to do. And I love that these are going to be ready to give to a lot of people whenever I feel like it. You know what? We still have some white chocolate. Let's do a little bit of white chocolate on our haystacks. It'll look like snow. We've got it. We might as well use it. I don't want to waste it. So we're just going to do a little bit of white drizzle on our haystacks. It'll look like a little dusting of snow on these. That's the other thing I love about being in the kitchen is I love that I get to take a recipe and do my own thing with it. So now our haystacks have a little bit of snow on them. Why not? I will have all of the recipes linked in the description box of this live video. Once we finish, I'll put all the recipes in there. I keep losing my towels. So yeah, that's the 4 recipes. Super easy. Like I said, we've only been live for half an hour and I got all 4 of these done. I need to show you guys something. So So every year for Christmas, I do like this. I do a lot of baking, a lot of cooking, because I do a lot of giving the food over the holiday time for Christmas and whatever. And normally when I do these things, I put all of this stuff in those little cellophane bags that you get at the store that have the little twist ties on them and stuff. That's what I've used forever. I used them when my grandmother and I did stuff. I used them clear up until last year. Well, I had a sweet company reach out to me and send me a sample of these little goodie bags. And how cute are these? So they have quite a bit of room inside. They've got these cute little ties. You don't have to use the twist ties. You literally just pull on this and it cinches it down. These are so fun. I can't wait to get to use these. A lot of this stuff that I just did today, we are not going to keep. We have an incredible neighbor across the street who is an officer, and just as a little way of telling him thank you for what he does for our city. And you know, he goes out there and risks his life every single day, and so I want to give him a little something that says thank you. So I'm going to put a little bit of everything in these little bags. So we have the ice skates on one, and then we have the little Merry Christmas on one. We have Santa and the Reindeers. This is Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And the last one is these fun little reindeers that say Merry Christmas. These are so, so cute. And so I'm so thankful this company reached out to me and asked if they could send me some of those to try out for the holidays this year. I'm super excited to try these and give some of these things to our sweet neighbor across the street and his girlfriend. And just as a little thank you to him for what he does for us each and every day. And so I will leave, sorry, I bumped the camera. I will leave a link in the description box for these. They do sell these on Amazon. So if you're interested in giving those a shot this year, I'll leave a link in the description box if you guys want to pick some of those up for I've never heard of Joyride. So I'll leave a link in the description box. You guys can get them at a discount. If you do end up purchasing them through the link, it does help my channel out just a little bit. But I'm excited to have these this year because I think these have a little bit more room in them than the cellophane bags. And I think they're going to be a little bit more sturdy. I don't think they're going to rip out on the sides like the cellophane ones do all the time. Those are always such a pain. They were a pain. The twist ties would break, the sides would split, you know, all that stuff. So these nuts smell so good. So what is your favorite nut? If you guys had to pick a nut, what's your favorite nut? My favorite nut is a cashew. I recently learned, oh gosh, probably about 6 months ago, that I am allergic to Brazil nuts. That was not a fun experience to figure out after 50 some years of eating Brazil nuts, to find out that I'm allergic to those. And so I have to be really careful about the mixed nuts that we buy now, that they don't have Brazil nuts in it and that I don't actually eat one. I'm not anaphylactic allergic, but they make me super, super sick. So I choose just not to eat them. But I'm going to grab one of these cashews because they're a little bit hot still. But you know what? Oh my gosh. That sweet preacher is so good. Wow. That's amazing. So good. Wow. I'm surprised. Yes, cashews. I love cashews. I love pistachios too. That's one of the reasons why I'm so glad that my grandmother, when she made this bark for us, that she put pistachios on it, because that's another one of my favorite nuts. My three favorites are pistachios, or cashews, pistachios, and macadamia nuts. Those are my three top. I love those. I do like all nuts. I'm not super picky, but those are my three top if I had to pick. So yeah, I'm super excited to have all these. You can see that this bark has already started to set up. It's not quite tacky anymore. Still just a little bit soft, but it's going to be by this evening when I get ready to break that up and pack some up in these little bags and deliver them across the street to our sweet neighbor who's a police officer. It'll be super fun to get to use these bags this year. I've got plenty of them here. I love that this pack is huge. You get a lot. I can't remember what the exact number is, but it's a lot. As far as the Sweet Preacher rub, I believe I get this on Amazon too, and I'll leave a link in the description box for that if you guys want to try that stuff out. I put that stuff on everything. I make roasted sweet potatoes that we have several people from our church that they keep asking what my secret is to sweet potatoes when I roast them. And I've told them all, it's Sweet Preacher rub. That's what I put on them. But they have tried it. They don't taste the same for some reason. So I said, well, I can't help you because that's what I put on them, is that and honey and olive oil. That's about it. But maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just the love I put in them. You never know. So yeah, so I'm excited about all these. I'm excited that it came together so quickly. And like I said, it was literally half an hour and we were done with all of them. So the Sweet Preacher is, it only has, I think it only has 20 milligrams of salt in it. The guy that turned me on to that from our church is on an extremely low sodium diet because of a heart condition. So he did a lot of research looking for seasonings that he can use on his diet. And this is his favorite. So when he got it, he thought I would enjoy it. So he gifted me a bottle of it to try. I went through it in no time. So it's fantastic on, oh, one thing I put it on that is amazing is pork. So if I'm cooking if I'm smoking a pork butt, that's what I put on it. And it's just, I want to try farm dust. I have not tried it yet. I've always wanted to try it. When I did the collaboration with you, I was hoping that I was going to win a bottle, but I didn't. So I guess I'll have to go buy it. I've always wanted to try it. There's another one. I don't think I have the bottle anymore. I think I tossed it because it was gone. It's called Camp something, and I got it when I was in It's Your Crack. That's kind of what this is for me. I put it on everything. It's called Camp something, and I got it in California, in Sacramento, when we were there several years ago. And I keep meaning to have my brother-in-law send me another bottle of it because I can't get it around here. And it's just, it's so incredible. So I'm going to have to order another bottle of it. But it's called Camp something, and I can't remember now what it is. I'll have to look for it. If I find it, I'll leave a link in the description box for you guys for that stuff. But I know that it's hard to come by, especially here. We just happened to stumble on it. We went to this place. My brother-in-law loves the jerky at this meat store in Sacramento. And so we went in there to get jerky, and they had that seasoning. And they had something I tasted on. I was like, wow, this is so good. And so my brother-in-law, Chris, said, you should get some. So I got some to bring home, and I tried it on everything, and I ran out, and now I need to get some more because it's super, super good. So what is, Leanne, what is the farm dust resemble? I mean, what does it taste like? Does it taste like an all-purpose seasoning? Does it have like a seasoned salt flavor to it? I know you probably can't compare it to anything specific, but what's the flavor profile in it? I took all these bags out of this plastic, and now I'm going to have to figure out how to get them back in there. It's an all-purpose seasoning. Oh, herbs and spices. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to have to order some. You said you can get it on Amazon? Wait a minute. So is that what you would, I mean, not really compare it to, but is that what it I mean, how much salt is in it? Does it have a lot of salt? Oh, okay. I'll go check out the September link again or videos and find your link in there. Anytime I buy something that a channel recommends, I try really hard to go to their YouTube channel and purchase it from there, because I know that those links, they help us. So salt's the main ingredient. Do you know how much sodium's in it? Like, what's the sodium content on it? What's the milligrams? Oh, it didn't say how much per serving. Okay, I'll go check, because you know what? I'm not super sensitive to it. I mean, probably shouldn't have a ton of it, but I'm not super sensitive to it. But I'll go. I just think I'll get some, because I've heard so many people talk about it. So I'll go check it out and get some. And I will definitely use your link, Leanne. As I was saying, people don't realize how much those links help us out. It doesn't cost them anything to use it, but it definitely helps us out. These nuts smell amazing. Trying to read comments. Whoops. 10% sodium. Okay. So they have one with Himalayan. Is there more than one farm dust? I'm going to put a little more of this on. They're still a little bit warm, so I just love this seasoning so much. My husband's going to be super happy. A whole line of seasonings. Oh, okay. Okay. I'll just go check. I'll check it out and see. But I definitely want to try just the farm dust for sure, because you're not the only one I've heard talk about it. So it obviously is tasty. Our little haystacks are setting up. They are so incredibly cute. I actually do love that I put the white chocolate on these. All right, well, I think this is where we're gonna end this live. I've got all 4 of our sweet treats done. I have a sink full of dishes to do. Hubby will be home in about an hour. And I don't know what we're gonna do. It's raining here. It's Weaver's Dutch Country Seasonings. Okay, awesome. I will go check them out and see what all they have, but I definitely wanna try the farm dust for sure. I am a huge, my husband laughs at me. I'm a huge seasonings person. I have so many. Kinder's is one of my absolute favorites right now. I'm using a ton of Kinder's. I've got so many. So I have to tell you really quick. So we did a squash that I'd never had before. I did a video for this a few weeks ago, but it's a red curry squash. I'd never heard of it before. Fabulous squash. Oh my gosh, it's incredible tasting. But I'd never cooked with it before, so I really wasn't sure what to put on it. So I did honey and olive oil, and I used this black cherry chipotle from Kinder's. I found it on clearance at Fred Meyer. I know they sell it on Amazon, but I put this on there. Oh my gosh, friends, it was amazing. It was so good. You haven't tried Kinder's? They have so many, Leanne. Oh my gosh. They have the buttery steakhouse. They have the steak one. They have the black cherry. They have the red jalapeno. They have the lemon pepper. They have the caramelized onion butter, which is in the cabinet behind the camera, so I can't grab it. But I have a huge collection of Kinders. I just love Kinders, anything. Their barbecue sauces are amazing. They're one of my favorites. Their honey hot is my favorite. I had never tried the honey hot until Fallon over at Moss Family TV. She used the honey hot Kinders for something, and I was like, oh, I need to try that. So we got some. I'm hooked. I absolutely love it. It's super tasty. Our pecan bars are setting up nicely. I don't want to touch my little Haystacks because they are pretty delicate until they completely set up, until that chocolate completely dries. So I don't want to mess with them too much. I'm afraid they're going to fall apart. So, but yeah, everything is absolutely delicious. I can tell you right now, when my husband comes home, the two things he's going to go for is these nuts and the bark. That's going to be his afternoon snack. He will get a cup of coffee and he will have a piece of bark and he will have some nuts. That'll be his excitement for the afternoon. So, but friends, I think this is where we're going to end this live. Just a little quick recap. We did my grandmother's jewel bark that we did with pistachios, dried apricots, dried cranberries, dark chocolate on the bottom, and a drizzle of white chocolate to finish it off, just to make it look beautiful. We did these almond bars, chocolate and almond with toffee bits. We did our delicious honey roasted spicy mixed nuts that we did with the Sweet Preacher rub. I'll leave a link in the description box for that in there. We did these cute little, I don't know if I can pick one up. No, they're still pretty soft. So we did Haystacks. You can see them right here. We did Haystacks with the chow mein noodles, the toffee bits, dark chocolate, and I added pecans to it because I had some extras, so I threw some pecans in there, and then we drizzled with white chocolate to look like a little bit of snow. And yeah, that was our little treats that we did today. Less than 30 minutes, and we had 4 no-bake treats ready to go. So friends, we won't do a live. I may do one more next week before Thanksgiving. I may not do one next Saturday because of the holiday. I'm not really sure what our family plans are for Saturday, so just kind of watch the community page. I'll let you guys know if I do plan to get on and do one next Saturday. So I will leave a link in the description box for all 4 of the recipes, as well as a link for the Sweet Preacher rub and a link for these cute little bags if you want to give those a shot. If you do want to try those bags this year for your holiday baking, I would really appreciate if you use the link in the description box to purchase those. That just helps. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it definitely helps my channel out. So friends, have a great weekend and get ready for Thanksgiving. If I do get to do another live, it'll be early this next week. I will probably do one because we're going to be doing a lot of Thanksgiving prep over the next few days. So I may bring you guys along with me to prep some of the things for our Thanksgiving dinner. And if so, I'll let you guys know. So be watching the community page for that. And friends, have a great weekend. God bless.